Hi everyone, welcome to my end of November updates. I'm going to start with my new acquisitions. So every year our Orchid Society has a Christmas party where people donate their plants and there's an auction to raise money for the society. So I got a couple plants from that and I'll talk about my first plant, which was not from the auction but I picked it up at the party. So the first plant is my first ever Paphiopedilum and it's Paphiopedilum emersonii cross sib. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to get this plant was I heard Orchidea in one of her videos mention this plant and I've never heard of it before, so I did some googling and the flowers are white with yellow and I do like that color combination, so I figured I'd get this one. So the first plant from the auction is Paphiopedilum Lynleigh Koopowitz. So it's a primary cross between Galeandra and Bulbophyllum. And the other plant I got from the auction is Bulbophyllum annandalei, and this one is in spike, so that's really exciting. And now I'm going to go over the updates of my existing plants. This is my Aerides quinquevelnera, and it bloomed, although all the buds haven't opened fully yet. And when they fully open, I'll definitely do a bloom video on this. Very happy with the results. As you can tell, there's a few buds that blasted, but I think this is pretty good considering this is a first time bloom for me for this plant. And I think it is also the first time bloom for this plant itself, so it's very, very exciting. And it smells nice too. This is my Ctsm tigrinum crossed with kleberianum. And this one was previously in spike, but the spike has since dried out, so I won't be getting flowers on this year, but that's okay. This is my Ascocentrum ampullaceum, and let me just get my finger the shot there. And there's definitely something growing. I think it's a spike, and I think there's also a spike somewhere in there. So this is doing well for me. So this is my Vanda coerulescens, and it's in spike. It's a little bit washed out, but you can see that it's curving towards the light there, so I gotta be a bit careful when I'm taking it down to water. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm a bit worried that it's gonna kind of grow on this side, and then the blooms open and then I can't take this down, so not sure what to do. I think I might put this in a container and just have it sitting on the table. My only concern is I don't want this falling off the table, as my cats like to climb up on it and knock stuff over, so we'll see. And also the spike's growing very quickly, so even by tomorrow morning the spike may have grown even more. And this is my Aerides houlletiana, and it's pushing out a new leaf. This is Masdevallia amplexa, and it is in spike. It's actually in bud on two of the spike. I'm going to talk about the flask babies now. We'll talk about this side first. So my Paraphalaenopsis laycockii seedlings are doing very well. Just notice that guy in the middle there. That leaf is doing really well. So these guys are all good. And now let's talk about these ones. So I did end up deflasking the Dendrobium tobaense flask seedlings. And I did have a bunch of casualties, but overall they seem to be doing okay. Actually, in 3 of those bigger cups, but I did find mold in one of them. So I split that one into these little cups. And then this one also had mold in it, but I just used hydrogen peroxide to try to take care of it. There's newly developed mold, but I'm just gonna leave it. I don't think it will be harming the plants because it's mainly focused on the dead parts like the sheaths and the roots. So we'll see how that goes. The one in the back there seems to be doing pretty well, but they don't look as good as they did in the flask, so we'll see. As long as I have one survivor, I'll be happy. This is my Trichocentrum albococcineum, and it is in bud. This is my RLC little Toshie, and the flower's finally dying. And this is LC Mini Purple Princess Road, and since the last time the buds have fallen, but it has a new bud here, so I'll get another bloom out of this. And this is my Galeandra bauerii, and previously it was pushing out a spike, but then that spike dried up, and now it's pushing out another spike with some buds on it, so hopefully this one will bloom. This is my Epidendrum ciliare, and it's pushing out a new growth. The other division I had, I gave away to our auction, so someone else will be growing it now. This is my SLC, World Vacation Shibuya Sunset. It's wrapping up this growth and it's pushing out a new one. And this is RLC Durgan, 300 by 100, and it's pushing out a new growth. Judging by the size of the new growth, it seems like it's going to be a lot bigger than the previous one, so fingers crossed. And this is my Chysis Lynleigh, and it's in spike. I'm very excited. I think there's at least 4 to 5 buds on it, I think. Hoping, if things go well, then I should have a pretty decent bloom display on this, but it's completely unexpected, and I'm super excited to see this in bloom. And this is my Trichocentrum leucorachne. It's got 3 buds on it. This is my Paraphalaenopsis javanica, and it's in bud. This is my Ctsm gladiatorum crossed with Bulbophyllum, and it's in spike. And this is my Galeandra fimbriata. It's pushing a new growth out on that left side, and I did end up losing a new growth right beside it. It rotted, I'm not sure why, but everything else seems fine. This is my Vanda lamellata, and I have a very good feeling that there is a flower spike growing in there. If that's the case, I'm going to be super excited. And this is Cloecia urbica northern crossed with Ctsm kleberianum, and this time all the buds seem to be doing well. I think there's one that blasted, but I think I'll have a pretty good show with this one this time. And this is my Cloecia urbica northern Mikabi, and it's pushing out a flower spike. I think last time I only had 1 flower, so hopefully I'll get more than 1 flower this time. And this is my Dendrobium antenatum cross, and it's pushing out a flower spike right there. And this is my Dendrobium longicornu, and previously I mentioned I was a bit worried about this after I brought it to the Fraser Valley Orchid Show, but I just noticed just now that it's pushing out a new growth, so I think this will be fine. And this is my Leptodes bicolor, and it looks like the bud is getting bigger, so I think I'm definitely going to get a flower out of this year. This is my Ascocentrum Paphiopedilum, and I think it's doing a lot better. It's pushing out that new root, and it's pushing out a new leaf, so I think this will make a good recovery. And this is Phalaenopsis cornucervi Chatelate, and it's pushing out a new leaf. I think I mentioned previously that I didn't think this leaf was as big as the previous ones, but I think it's just slow growing. It's definitely gotten a lot bigger. Alright, so this is my Pedangus dactyliceris, and at the bottom right there, I think it's pushing out a new spike. And this is my Sophronitis cernua. So the good news is that it's definitely big enough to bloom. I was able to get in spike. The bad news is all the buds blasted, so that's kind of a bummer, but I know that it's definitely capable of blooming at this size now. And that's my Paphinia rugosa. The bud in the back blasted, but this one seems to be doing pretty well. These growths are doing fine as well. And this is my Chysis levis, and it has this new growth. No flower spike on this one though. This is my Ingracum germanianum, and flower spike is still going. I have been warned that this is prone to scale, but so far I haven't seen any, so that's good. This is my Bulbophyllum Princess Bajaratana. It's doing fine. The only thing I notice is that these older pseudobulbs are starting to rot, get soft. I don't think it's affecting the good ones, but I will need to get rid of those. This is my Masdevallia infracta, and it's pushing out a couple new growths. This one is not doing particularly well for me. I also forgot to water it, but I did divide it I think a few months back because one side was rotted after I put it outside, so I'm kind of just stuck with this now. I do think it will get better though. And this is my Bulbophyllum sulawesii. So I think previously I mentioned that I had thought that that was going to be a spike, but it's most likely going to be a new growth, and it is, but there was a spike growing in the back that I didn't notice, and it's gotten quite a bit larger now, so this is definitely going to bloom for me, and I'm very excited for that. I really like the flowers on this plant. This is my Stanhopea nigroviolacea Batman, and there's something down there. It's green, it's not a root for sure. At first I thought it might be a flower spike, but I'm not sure if they are green. It hasn't yet grown upwards, so I don't know if it's a new growth or not. I'm hoping it's a flower spike, though. This is my Coryanthes missacii, and it's pushing out a new growth. This is my Phalaenopsis fimbriata. It's pushing out a new leaf and actually 2 new flower spikes, so I will have a total of 4. This is my Phal amboinensis, and this leaf, it's a bit difficult to tell on camera, but it's a little bit stripy, so I think this plant needs a bit more magnesium. And I also noticed that this flower spike has moved slightly, so I think this one is growing a little bit as well. And last but not least, this is my Dendrobium bellatulum, and it is in bud. You're supposed to rest this during the winter time, but I'm not really doing that this year. I'm not soaking it either. I'm just spraying it every couple days as opposed to once a week. And the reason I'm doing that is because I've never had a really decent root system on this, and I think it might be related to the fact that it's too dry. So that's why I'm gonna try not resting it. Anyway, that's my video for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!